if you're asking yourself, where's the water? Trust me, we're gonna get there. But I left my rods at home today. We are gonna do something a bit different today. So I'm gonna head up to where I'm heading today. All right, I'm gonna get to the spot where I'm gonna go, and we'll talk more when we get there. So see y'all in a few minutes. Bye. Told you there'd be water. So no fishing today. Instead, we're going to do something completely different. Here in Pennsylvania, we've got several different species of frogs and toads, but most are not too active this time of year. It's just a little too cold. There is one species, and that's a wood frog, that gets going actually quite a bit earlier than this, maybe late January, early February. There could still be snow on the ground, ice on these little tiny ponds, and that's where we're at. We're in a tiny little pond. It's kind of an indentation on the side of a mountain, and this frog, wood frogs, this is where they like to come early in the season so that, well, they'll find a suitable mate and do it and lay some eggs. And I already see some. We'll have a look later in a little bit. There were quite a few when I walked up in here that were doing their thing. I think my presence kind of put them off, but let's see if things can quiet down a little bit and the frogs start making some noise. So let's just wait and see. So like I was saying, these frogs, they get going really early in the year, and they've got some really cool kind of adaptations to kind of go along with that. I don't know. Yeah, we can't see it. He's too far away for the GoPro. Because these bodies of water can, well, they're small, so they get cold pretty quickly, and these frogs get really active early on. They have some kind of physiological adaptations that allow them to kind of cope with that kind of stress, which is pretty cool. Hi. They can pump like water out of their cells, so that water, if it does freeze, when it turns to ice crystals, doesn't damage their cells. And evidently they produce, oh, there's one right there. It just kind of popped up. They produce basically what amounts to antifreeze to keep, other tissues and fluids from freezing. They're pretty cool animals. What you doing there, buddy? Maybe if I am quiet enough, they'll start calling again. Hoping to see if we can. Oh. There's some starting to make noise over there. There seems like there's quite a few on the other side, but it's kind of tough to get to. Oh, there he goes. Bye. He saw me. Yeah, like I was just about to say, hopefully we can see the males and the females together, basically doing it froggy style. There's a name for that. If we see it, we'll talk about it. And there's one. Can't quite tell if that's a male or a female, but just kind of hanging out. So there's another one. So these guys, oh, drifting. These frogs belong to the family Ranidae, which is usually called the true frogs. And some cool things. Oh, hold on. So this family of frogs, like a lot of frogs, comes to the water to reproduce. But unlike some of the other ranids, these guys are pretty terrestrial outside of the breeding season. This is pretty much the only time they're going to come to water to mate in the spring, early spring, and then the rest of the time they're kind of out in the woods like the name would suggest, wood frog. And so early on in the year they migrate to these temporary, mostly pools. Probably don't have fish in them because the fish would eat the eggs and whatnot, and do their thing. Let's see, can we get a closer look at this guy or girl? So one thing about most ranids, at least, and this is how you can tell for your typical, you see the light stripes going behind the eye back towards his legs? You see, you got one on either side there. So those are called dorsolateral folds, and it's a characteristic that most ranid species, with only one exception that I can think of in North America, has. And so if you see a frog with those folds going from the eye to the basically its butt, that is a pretty good indication that you've got a true frog, family Ranidae. Okay? And so things like wood frogs and green frogs and pickerel frogs, leopard frogs, some common ones here in Pennsylvania, would all have those. There's one ranid in North America, bullfrog, that doesn't have them, but bullfrogs are pretty kind of hard to confuse. There's another family of frogs that you can find, the tree frogs, the family Hylidae, that, and I heard one earlier, I don't know if he'll start calling again, that would use these same types of pools, like spring peepers, for example. Tree frogs, well, one, they don't have those dorsolateral folds, and if you saw them up close, the front legs especially, their toes would have little kind of pads on them. So there we go. There is a nice look at a wood frog. Alright, I've situated myself in between both ponds now, just to kind of like see if, because if I get too close, these guys are kind of spooky and they stop calling. So now behind me, maybe you can hear the ones in that pond over there going. I'm not quite sure. I mean, hopefully you can. Hopefully in a second, the ones at this pond will start calling again. As long as I'm quiet and don't move much. Wow, now they're really going behind me. But But if I get up, they're just gonna stop. So I'm just going to stay here for now. And hopefully these ones start talking. That's pretty cool, huh? Okay, now let's go see if we can't find a male and a female kind of together doing it. Or some egg masses, that'll be cool too. So I haven't been able to get close enough to any of these to kind of get a really good look, and I haven't really seen any males and females going at it. But so when that happens, what happens, the male will come up from behind the female, grab a hold of her with his arms, and then at some point she'll start releasing her eggs into the water. He'll start releasing his sperm, and so fertilization happens outside of the female. And then what it ends up looking like is this. There we go. So there is an egg mass of some wood frog. And so, you can kind of see the little dark things and the little jelly. Those are the eggs, and so those are the embryos that are going through development. You know, sometime soon, those will come out as tadpoles, and well, there we go. So I'm gonna have another look around. That's pretty neat, and see if we can't find any more. And then I guess we'll call it a day. Well, that was fun, but I'm gonna get out of here. I bothered these guys enough. They need to get back to doing their thing, making more frogs. But yeah, that was a bit of a different video from the typical fishing stuff that shows up on my channel here. But moving forward, I think I'll, as opportunities present themselves, continue to do this from time to time. Let me know what you think about that in the comments below. Hopefully, you enjoyed this video. Maybe learned a thing or two. Maybe it's inspired you to go out and try to find a pond like this of your own and see if you can find some wood frogs or whatever amphibians are in your area. Yeah, it's something I enjoy doing myself, at least. Yeah, for now, well, thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you all again sometime soon. Yeah, that's all I got. Talk to you all later. Bye, everybody.